Hi, how you doing? What's going on? Welcome to the replay. Welcome to Daily Fuel. My name is Bobby. I am the host of this group, The Spiritual Artist. Squiggly line quantity. That squiggly line was like I just had like a dash, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna use that squiggly line because it reminds me of like a sine wave and like the energy of the universe. I don't know. I'm weird that way. I think of these things. So, welcome to the replay. And if you are watching in the replay, then do me a favor and let me know that, hey, I'm in the replay. You can write a hashtag. You can just say you're in the replay. The hashtags don't actually do anything. I just see that so-and-so commented on the live, and I go back and I see them, and then I laugh at the replay hashtags that you guys come up with. So make one up, make up whatever you like, and Robin's here. She's got popcorn. That's great. So that's enough for you replay people. Enjoy the show. By the way, replay people, you can comment. You don't have to do hashtags, but you can comment throughout the thing, and I'll write stuff back, or I'll read them and like them and heart them and stuff. So Robin is here, and some other people are here because I see a 5. Oh, I forgot to do this thing. Give me 1 second, please. Turn this down so I can read any anonymous comments that might pop up. Good. If you're watching live, welcome, and like Robin is, and you guys can start commenting. So here's how Daily Fuel works, because I know there are a few new people in the group. I have the spiel. I'm going to go through the whole thing. And by the way, when I say I have this spiel, I point over there. I have like this written. Oh, you can't see that. Anyway, it's written down. I just have notes, and they're all over the place. And it's not a script. I just go through it, and then I ignore all the comments while I'm doing my thing. And then that takes about 10 minutes or so. And then I come back to the comments, and I read all the comments. And you guys were commenting while I was talking. And by the time I read your comments, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. So Robin's here, and Marcia is here. Hello, Bobby. Hello, Marcia, how are you? And Pradeep is here. Hello, Bobby. Good evening, dear. Hello, and welcome again to Daily Fuel. Nice to see you again. I see you click the link because I can see your face and see your name. Robin didn't see nothing. Didn't see, when I see that was quick enough that I remembered. All right, you know what? Let's get started. Imagination. So we have imaginations, right? I assumed that most of us do because we are artists. And it's kind of hard to be an artist without an imagination. But I have this expression I've been using and playing with, that art is a metaphor for life. And today, when I was thinking of imagination, I realized another way that it is. Because we let's just law of attraction 101, right? We create the energy within us. We think of things, we feel things, and we exude energy, and the universe reflects it right back at us. But what are a couple of different ways to create that energy? One is through imagination. And usually when we think of the word imagination, we're thinking of positive things. And the other is worrying, which is what? Negative imagination, really. It's just like, oh, let me imagine the worst case scenario, right? So, but I like the word imagination for the positive and worry for the negative. So let's stop doing that and start practicing this, because for some reason, not every person, I'm sure, but for a lot of us, and probably most of us, and maybe even all of us in this group, worrying is like some default, de facto. You just slide right into it so easily, right? It's hard. It's hard work to say, I'm not going to worry, and I'm going to imagine a good outcome rather than imagine a bad outcome. But for whatever reason, it's like people's minds just go right there. So, Here's what I mean when I say that art is a metaphor for life, and I'm thinking of it as a 3-step process because I do everything in 3s. So step 1, we imagine, we dream. We've talked about this, the vision that we have, whether it's a vision for a project you're working on, or a vision for your career as an artist, or your vision for your life in general with all the things. Your body, your relationships, your house, your cars, your this, your that, right? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It could be anything. Whatever is important to you, we imagine it at some points. When we're in that good place, we imagine the dream. We imagine the vision that we want. Well, same thing goes with a piece of art. We imagine it first, and then we start creating it. I think where it diverges is that, for the most part, when we're creating our art, we aren't creating it in a state of worry most of the time. I mean, we might be like, oh, this isn't coming out the way that I like. You might get frustrated. You might get this. You might get that. But for the most part, the vision of why you're creating this particular piece is a positive vision. And for the most part, the vision that you have for your life is a positive vision. But it seems easier, and it is for me anyway, when I'm working on a piece of art to maintain focus on that positive vision. But when I'm going through the daily stuff in life, I end up going this way a lot, and you start worrying about things, or somebody says something, or, or whatever. There's so many things can distract you from the vision. So anyway, if we can have that vision, that's the thing that we want. Worry is the same thing but negative, and it's just how we're pointing ourselves. You're going to get one or the other, or somewhere in between. So it depends on how much, where you're pointing yourself and how often, and you're going to get something in that spectrum. So number 2 is, now that we've imagined this piece of art that we're creating, let's just focus on the art for a second. We imagine this piece of art we want to create. What's the next step? Well, now it's in our heads. We need to get it on canvas, or in sculpture, or in movement, or in song, or whatever your art is, right? Usually it's some kind of tangible thing. It could be words, prose, poetry, whatever. We need to craft it. Now we're crafting the art. And this is where what I call our secret weapon comes into play. We are so practiced at this. We imagine something, we craft it. We imagine something, we craft it. Most people don't have a craft to craft. They just imagine things and go, oh, that'd be cool. And then, go on their day and, do their stuff. And, but we have this secret weapon to craft our visions. It's our talent made manifest. We practice it over and over and over again, or at least we hope to, and we can sometimes go, that's a different daily fuel. But but we practice it in the sense that we don't just not always sit down and be like, oh, I have this vision for this amazing thing. Let me just start making it immediately. But for a lot of times, maybe we'll sketch it out first, or we'll come up with a prototype, or make thumbnails, or just, however you practice getting to the point where now you're ready to make the final thing. So that's number 2. We imagine it, number 1, and we craft it, number 2. And then we present it. We have this finished piece of work. We can show it to people. We can post it in this group. We can showcase it in a gallery or a museum, or we can sell it to a client that commissioned it, right? There are so many things that we can do with our art once it's made, because now it is a physical, tangible thing. People can listen to it, or watch it, or look at it, or ride on it. I don't know what you make, So all of these things are actual ways that we create art through this process of imagination. We can do the same in life. We can imagine the life that we want, and we can craft it and practice it and use the same talents that we have as artists to design the life that we want. We can make vision boards. We can draw pictures of it. We can write about it in journals, So anything that you want to do, just do that thing that you do for your art, do it for your life. And then start presenting it, start showcasing it, start talking about it to people. Instead of, hey, did you hear about that car accident? Oh my God, I know, that was terrible, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Yeah, it was terrible. All right, but do you want to be in it? No, right? So instead say, I did, but today what I'm really thinking about is this amazing thing that I'm doing with my business, or I've met a new person and I'm really excited about this relationship, or I got new clothes, or I'm getting a new car, or I'm buying a new house, or I'm fixing the thing that I already have. I don't need new stuff to be happy, right? Whatever it is. Let's learn to start presenting our lives as if we're building them and crafting them the way that we have been imagining them. Before I get to the comments, just a quick anecdote. One way that I started doing this, a friend of mine asked me the other day, because they watched some of my YouTube videos of Daily Fuels. They're not in the group, but they asked me questions. And I said, were you always like this? Like, were you always able to just talk like this? And I was not, And what happened was, I was in high school. I was very quiet in high school. I always liked singing, but I would never like sing in high school in front of people. In my bedroom with my hairbrush as a microphone and a record on, that was fine. But if any other people were there, no, right? So, and then in college, I became friends with guys that were musicians, and man, did I really want to do that too. So I started working with them on different things, and I was getting more confident in myself in college. And I joined a band, and I will never forget this. The guitar player to the band and I were very, very good friends in college, and we were going somewhere one day, and I don't remember the conversation we were having, but I just remember somebody asking me about what I do, and I was talking about the being in college and all this stuff, and he's like, "Dude, you got to start telling people you're a musician. That's what you do now." And I was like, "You're right. I'm a singer in a rock band. Just tell them I do that." And I started presenting myself that way. And man, did my confidence level just from talking about that and practicing it. The first couple times I would talk to people about it, I'd stumble over my words, or it didn't feel like, I felt like I was still wearing somebody else's costume or something. But eventually it just got to the point where, yeah, I'm lead singer in a rock band. That's I think it's cool, and if you think it's cool, we can talk about it. If you don't think it's cool, that's okay. Well, I don't need to tell you about that anymore, but that's what I do, and that's who I am. And it just snowballed from there to the point where the reason I do Daily Fuel is because I love being on stage so much. I love presenting, and I love talking, and I love just getting an audience in front of me and sharing what's my vision. And that's why I do this, but that's just a way that I want everybody to think about it. You don't have to be a front man to do what I'm talking about. You just have to imagine it and craft it and present it. That's it. So let us get to the comments. I see Amy is here, and what's that? No, that's nothing. Okay. So I can see everybody's face now. That's great. Jennifer is here. Hello, Jennifer. How are you? Hi, Bobby and everyone. I may not be able to catch the whole live. I may need to come back for the replay. That's cool. You guys could do whatever you need to do. I try to detach from worry and let it flow through me. That's great. Detach from worry. I like that, right? Worry is there. Again, we have that part of us that evolved to find the tiger in the bush, right? The wolf that's going to come out and eat us, because as cavemen, or whatever, we were prey. We were hunters, but we were also prey, and it was dangerous. There were things that could jump out and kill you and eat you. So we learned to be on the lookout and be wary of that. We'd get that sixth sense that the hair goes up on the back of your neck, or you're talking to somebody and you just kind of get that awkward feeling like something is off about this, and you don't know what it is, but you just know something's off. And I think that now, because we don't have the tiger in the woods jumping out at us, I'm very safe in my home, so it's like we're still looking for something to be a threat to us, and so everything becomes a threat. Maybe that's why it's easy to kind of go off in that sideways tangent way and just start worrying about everything, because, oh man, things are going so well. Well, be careful, because when things go really well, something shitty's going to show up soon enough, because, well, thanks for that idea. Now I'm worried about something bad happening, But as Jennifer just said, we can try to detach from worry. It's there. Maybe we can honor it and just be like, look, I understand that you're a part of me, and I do understand that bad things can happen, but I'm not going to live my life in fear of them, so get lost. So very good, Jennifer. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. Detach from worry. That's great. Imagine, dream. I like that, says Robin. Yeah, me too. Thanks. Sorry, late. I was looking for popcorn. That's okay. Pradeep says, "Hi, hey Bobby, can you tell me from where imagination comes from? Sometimes figures popped up from nowhere, which is so unique." So where does imagination come from? Okay. I don't know, but let's play with that a little bit, right? So there's the Abraham Hicks model. Are you familiar with Abraham Hicks? If you're not, Google that. Abraham Hicks. Google her and watch some of her videos. But pretty amazing stuff. It's like, where do the thoughts that we think come from? Are we making them up, or is source energy feeding them to us, right? Is our higher self feeding us the information a little bit of it at a time? And I think that that's where most of our imagination comes from. The spiritual us, brought it with us and said, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down to earth and I'm going to make this stuff. This is going to be fun. And then we get down here and we forgot all of that. And we got distracted by everybody with the car accidents and the worrying and the this and the that's and the bills and the right, and then get a job, right? So all of that stuff gets in our faces, and we forgot that we had this grand plan. But the grand plan never forgot about us, and it's constantly seeping into our thoughts, seeping into our imaginations. And that's where you might just be sitting there and going like, oh, well, that's a good idea. I just had a great idea. You didn't have a great idea just now. You had a great idea before you were even born, and you just remembered it. Maybe that's where imagination comes from. Let's go with that for today. Amy says, I love imagining things like distant planets and then bringing them to life like they are a real world. Yeah, I like that in your art. That's really, really cool. Or I wonder what ornaments or sculptures they'd have and then make it. Nice. I like it. So yeah, so that's you imagine these vivid things and you create them in your imagery, and I love it. It's great. Robin says, it sometimes is frustrating. Hang on, I need a breath before I read this essay. Okay, hang on. Robin says, it sometimes is frustrating when what is our minds is beyond our capabilities at the moment, because we still have much learning to do first before we can get our vision from in our minds into concrete form. All right, in other words, you have this vision, it's frustrating because, oh, I have this vision of what I want to make, but maybe I don't have the skills yet, or I don't have the resources yet, or the people, or the whatever, right? So it's like, I want to make it, but I don't have the physical things that I need to make it yet, except I have it all right here. Often it takes months or years to practice enough to get to where one's grasp on a new medium becomes autonomous enough to create our visions from the get-go. Yes, absolutely. For me, it's usually that, I'd like to make this thing, but in order to really make it, it would be better if I did it in this program, and that's going to require some training and skills, and maybe a couple of months of practicing on that program till I can even start it. And then sometimes you go to start the thing, and if it's the first thing you're doing in this, I'm thinking specifically of when I started doing video editing. I didn't do video editing for business in the way that I do video editing now. I started doing video editing because I had a baby and I had a camera, and I took a lot of film of her, and then I was like, wow, you know what? This is fun to watch, except there's like 90 minutes of nothing and like 2 minutes of gold here and here and here. It'd be nice if I could edit it into something and put it to music. So I learned how to do that, and then I got better and better and better and better, and I realized this is a lot of fun. I can do it for clients. I can do it for my business. I can do it for myself. Until now, it's like everything that I do is video related. But even then, it's like I wanted to do some stuff that was really interesting looking, but it would require that I got better at a new program like After Effects. I'm not good at that, so I had to go and learn it, or learn it enough to get it done to what I want to do. So yeah, it is frustrating. I have just, what I've done is I've just decided that that's part of the process. I don't fight it. I don't go, darn it, I wish I could do that, but I have to learn that program. I just go, oh, well, that's interesting. I guess I'm going to learn that program, and then who knows what I'll make after this thing, because once I learn it, I know it, and it's how I'm doing my graphic novel. I'm doing it in a very interesting process. I created the process myself. I'm using 3D models that I put together in Photoshop, and with backgrounds that I'm creating from video and stock imagery footage, and so it's like, and then I'm drawing over that, So I just invented this whole process because it suited me, but the 3D modeling part, I had to figure that out from scratch. I didn't know how to do it, and I just said, well, I think that's going to be the way that works best for me. So let's go learn, and I did, and I took a couple weeks, and I just learned how to do it. So yeah, it is definitely frustrating, but I would suggest just just expect that there's always going to be more to learn, especially since we don't live in the 1600s. You don't learn how to do one thing and you can pretty much do that for the rest of your life. We live in the 2000s where you can learn one thing and next week that thing is obsolete. You got to learn the next thing. So that's just how it is. Amy says Robin Murray. Oh, with a little funny face. Robin, I mean, like right now, for example, there are things in my mind that would be awesome to create, but right now I lack certain knowledge and also certain practices to where the vision can be produced. Right. Exactly what we were just saying. Detach from worry. Wow. Excellent to remember. Yes, it is. Hi, Bobby. #live. Oh, darn it. I don't know who that is. That is Brandy. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you on Daily Fuel. Brandy, I don't know if you've ever clicked that Ecamm link. It's at the top of this post. It just says you gotta click that link one time to give permission to Ecamm so I can see who it is. But I don't see you, so I gotta look on my phone to see who it is. And then later you say, love this. Thank you. I'm glad that you do. I'm glad that you're here. It's nice to see you. Marcia says, I believe I was born to worry. I'm going to read it, but without even reading it, I already disagree with that statement. But okay, I believe I was born to worry and analyze everything. But the older and hopefully wiser I get, I've learned to prioritize. Okay. Confidence changes the course of how you create and how you use your imagination. Yeah. Okay. Let's rephrase that a little bit. I think you're 100% right, but nobody was born to worry. We were born to thrive. We were born to imagine and create. We are all creators, every human being. Just for us as artists, it's a little more obvious to everybody else how we create, but everybody is a creator and an imaginative spiritual being. So worry is just a disconnection from that and a lack of trust in your own innate power. That's what worry is. But analyzing I think is fine. And the older and hopefully wiser I get, I've learned to prioritize. So that's good too, because if you just worry about everything, then that's not good. But if you prioritize, maybe you can think of it as, I don't worry about it, but I realize that certain things require my attention. And I think that's okay. It's not like, that thing like my car. Oh, my car is making that noise. Well, I don't worry. So I'm just going to keep driving on it. Right. Well, that's not the right thing to do. You don't have to worry that your car's going to explode in the middle of the highway. But you can at least say, well, gee, maybe I should prioritize this and get it checked out. That's fine. Brandy loves this. Good. Robin says, have to learn the brushes, the commands, what happens when you do this thing versus that thing. Yes, exactly. Various effects. Not to mention have the equipment necessary. Invent the process. I like that. Yeah, that's what I do. It started with one thing after another. I would learn how to do a thing. I'd be like, I don't like that. Can I do this? And then I would try it. It would work. And I realized that nobody else did it that way, but that's how it worked for me. So then after that, anytime I had to do something, I would just figure out my own process for stuff. I'm kind of an inventor of digital design processes. I don't do things the way you're supposed to. I just do them how I feel like doing them. And it works. So that's it. All right. Well, Robin is the last comment. So as of right now, Robin is in the lead for the Booby Prize. But as you know, I'm going to now babble for a minute or so before I click the end button. So somebody can swoop in and steal it from her if you would like. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me once again. And let's see. Today's Thursday. Yeah, today's Thursday. Tomorrow I have plans. So if I can, I'll do a Daily Fuel early in the day. If not, then I'll probably just do one on Saturday. But I'll do some stuff tomorrow. It's kind of hard because now it's getting nicer out and I'm allowed to leave the house. So like Fridays and Saturdays are going to get, occasionally I'm not going to be able to do Daily Fuel. I tried doing one at 4:00 that one day and like nobody showed up. That was just one time. So I might try one at like 2:00 one day and just see what happens. Because I don't want to skip them. So if that's the case, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe tomorrow I'll just do one really early in the day and get all the people in Europe and Asia who never get to see these because they're asleep. like Amy, who probably should be asleep. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Amy, you stole the booby prize with your popcorn things. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Goodbye.